Hey guys, it's Katie at scrappinkaty.ctmh.com, and I have a couple of cards to share with you using the brand new November 2020 Stamp of the Month from Close to My Heart. So here is a look at the stamp set. It's called You Warm My Heart, and then I've also off camera just stamped a few images that I will be using, and then stay tuned for those green candy canes. And then I've also stamped some sentiments. I end up not using those. And then I embossed a couple of pieces of white daisy cardstock with the cascading dots embossing folder. I've also pulled out some of the inks that I'll be using today, Archival Black, Pewter, Evergreen, and Scarlet. And then right here, I'm just going to speed up this fussy cutting out. Now, if you're a follower of mine, you know that I like to leave a tiny white border around each image. And then to kind of just help with the look of the image, I move my image instead of my scissors, if that makes sense. It really helps, especially on curved images. And then you'll see that I'm just kind of finishing those and then grabbed those candy canes. Now, there's no need to keep that little crook, and I just want the straight parts of the candy cane. So I have two 1" by 5.5" pieces of white daisy cardstock, and then a couple of pattern paper that measure 2.5 by 3.5. So for the white daisy cardstock, I am going to take one of the images. Now, there's a bunch of little small images that are meant to color those images on the coffee cup, and I just love that. I haven't tried it yet, but I can just foresee that being so cute. So I did decide that I don't want those 1". So I'm trimming them down to 3/4 inch. So they'll measure 3/4 inch by 5.5. I am just taking that evergreen ink and then one of the little bitty images and just random stamping down the center of that piece. Now I am going to take a sponge and that evergreen ink and just sponge all around the edges just to kind of break up the white of the card. Now for the pattern paper, I'm just taking that black and the same thing sponging around the edges. So for the lids, I am using the brown gray Spectrum Noir marker, and I love these because you have a light, a medium, and a dark end all in one marker. So what I do is I take the light end and I do all my shading first, and you can see I'm adding a bunch of shading to the bottom of the lid, and then kind of at the top on that left and a little bit on the right. Then I take that medium color and just go around just a little bit more into the cup. And then I will take that dark one. Now, usually on the dark color, I prefer to add just tiny little dots. And once I use my blender marker, those dots will blend right out and you won't even be able to tell they're dots. So here's where I'm bringing in that blender marker, and I'm going to go over the majority of the image. Even if I did not color it with the brown gray marker, I'm going to blend out those colors and really bring in those colors to the center. So for these card fronts, they were larger than a standard size card. So I'm just cutting those down to 4.25 by 5.5. And then I've pulled out our brand new Scarlet glitter paper. Now I'm cutting these to 3.75 by 2.75. And then I am cutting out the middle, not only to save the glitter paper, but also I will tell you why here in just a second. So I've got all those pieces cut, and now I'm going to start assembling the card on some of those bulk card bases that I'd love to purchase from Close to My Heart. And then I'm going to just start taping everything down. Now for the majority of this card, I am going to use tape adhesive. So a good strong tape adhesive, make sure you go all the way to the edges so you won't have any pieces lift up. And on this card, I'm just making sure that there is equal distance on the left and the right of that Scarlet glitter paper. Now here's why I cut out the center. That glitter paper, not only is it pretty thick, but it's really hard to get things glued down on. So I added some thin 3D foam tape to the center of that panel. And now I'm doing the same to the back of these cups. Now you can see off camera, I went ahead and created a second card. And instead of putting that stamped strip on the right side, I put it across the front. So for these cups, I'm just taking an X-Acto knife and cutting right along that, I guess right along the front edge is what you would call it. Now, right here, I cannot find that second lid for the life of me, so off camera, I've gone ahead and stamped another one as well as colored it. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to cut it with an X-Acto knife, and you'll see why here in just a second. So I've taken that candy cane, and it's actually going to become my straw for my drink. So I'm just messing with this straw, making sure that it's down far enough, and I've cut off the excess. And then I'm going to put some thin 3D foam tape behind it. Now I do need to double up on the portion of the straw that is up over that glitter paper, just so that straw stays even or flush with the card. So we're pretty much done with the outside. Now I definitely want to stamp on the inside. So I love the one that says "You warm my heart." Now I am going to use archival ink, which I usually ink up in linen first so it doesn't stain my stamp set so bad. And then I pulled out some wooden hearts. So I'm going to glue these down with liquid glass. I've got a bigger one and a smaller one. And then I'm going to show you a neat trick, very affordable. If y'all have not tried stickles, it is my new love. So I'm just applying stickles all over this card. And I love how you have the shine of the Scarlet glitter paper and the shine from the stickles on those hearts. So for this other card, I'm going to put it together really quickly. I mainly wanted to show you on this foam. I have inked up that lid and stamped it along the bottom of the foam and then cut that off. And that way I can adhere the foam behind that straw and it'll make it look like it was really a foam drink. I'm going to add some thin 3D foam tape, again doubling up on the portion of the straw that goes past that glitter paper. Now that straw is a little bit too close to that top edge, so I feel like my bottom of the card needs something. So I've cut apart a portion of that one stamp set that says, "Wishing you a cozy holiday." So I'm going to use "Wishing You" and then trim that down and then just kind of add some sponging around the edges. And then again, add some of that foam tape to the bottom underneath that glitter paper just to bring it flush. And then adhere it with some liquid adhesive to the bottom of that cup. So I am pretty much done with that portion. I am going to ink up the rest of the sentiment, which says "Cozy Holiday" on the inside. And then off camera, I have finished off these cards with some extra background and texture paper, as well as bringing in that evergreen and that scarlet to the inside of the cards as well. Now, keep in mind that this adorable stamp of the month, while it has always been $5 with a qualifying purchase, if you are a VIP of mine, you will get it free with your $50 qualifying purchase. Now, how sweet is that? So you can make cute cards on top of getting it free. Also, these cards are part of a Stamp of the Month blog hop that I'm participating in, and I'll leave that link down below. As always, thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please leave me a comment and a thumbs up. And I would love to have you subscribe and sign up for notifications.